What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Buzz. Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier are once again exchanging heated words, reigniting one of the most intense rivalries in MMA history. The latest interaction began when Daniel Cormier questioned why Jon Jones wasn't spending Thanksgiving with his family. Cormier posted the comment under a video of Jones eating in Chechnya, asking why Jones wasn't with his loved ones during the holiday. Jones immediately fired back on social media. He responded by saying, "Imagine a man getting his ass kicked, and years later, he's still thinking about how I spent my holidays. Brother, that's not concern. That's a long-term rental, utilities included." Jones didn't stop there. He followed up with a video mocking Cormier, confidently stating, "I own a rent-free mansion in your head for the rest of your life." After the jab at Cormier, Jones shifted his tone and posted a separate heartfelt Thanksgiving message. In the video, he wished a happy holiday to everyone who wasn't able to spend time with their families. He said, "I wanted to take a moment to wish a happy Thanksgiving to the people who are not with their friends and family today. If no one tells you they love you, I love you. Have a blessed day. We love you. Happy Thanksgiving." The exchange once again reminded fans why the rivalry between Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier remains one of the most compelling and personal feuds in UFC history. Even years after their classic battles inside the Octagon, both fighters continued to trade shots, proving that some competitive fires never burn out. Before moving on to the next news, we have a quick request for you. We're always working to improve our content and truly value your support. If you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon, it would mean a lot to us. That way, you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Chimaev and Imavov appear to have officially agreed to fight, setting the stage for a highly anticipated showdown. According to recent updates, the matchup is being targeted for a date after Ramadan in 2026. Chimaev is expected to undergo surgery on his leg, a procedure that will sideline him for several months. Because of the recovery process, he won't be able to resume full training until March, making April the earliest possible time frame for his return to the Octagon. On the other side, Imavov has been vocal about his intentions and future plans. He revealed that he recently had a meaningful discussion with the UFC regarding his position in the division. Imavov tweeted that he made his stance very clear, saying he wants nothing less than a title shot. "Had a good conversation with UFC, I told them. Title shot only. If we have to wait, we'll wait. No distractions, no detours. Great things require great preparation. Make no mistake, I'll be ready. I'm not used to waiting, but this time I have to." Imavov's message showed both confidence and patience, emphasizing that he is fully focused on championship aspirations. However, he also left the door open for major opportunities, and Chimaev quickly stepped through it. Khamzat responded directly to Imavov's statement, accepting the challenge with his trademark intensity. He wrote, "See you after Ramadan, Imavov. You have time to work on your wrestling, Bratishka." The message immediately fueled excitement among fans, as Chimaev made it clear he intends to return in dominant fashion. Reports from Thursday further indicate that both fighters are on board, and the UFC is exploring potential timelines. With Chimaev recovering and Imavov preparing for the biggest opportunity of his career, the matchup is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing clashes of 2026. Their styles, confidence, and rising momentum add even more anticipation to a bout that could carry major title implications. Move on to another news. Ilia Topuria has announced that he will be taking a temporary leave from the UFC, confirming that his anticipated return in early 2026 will not be happening. The news came as a disappointment to fans who were hoping to see the former champion step back into the Octagon sooner. Topuria shared the update directly with his supporters through a post on X, explaining that it will be several more months before he is able to compete again. In his statement, Topuria wrote that he is currently navigating a difficult period in his personal life. He shared, "I won't be fighting in the first quarter of next year. I'm going through a difficult moment in my personal life. I want to focus on my children and resolve the situation as soon as possible. I don't want to hold up a division. The UFC will make the matchups needed, and as soon as the matters are resolved, I'll let the UFC know I'm ready to begin my return." His message highlighted both responsibility and humility, acknowledging the division's momentum while also prioritizing his family during a challenging time. Topuria assured fans that once his situation is resolved, he will be fully committed to returning and reclaiming his place in the sport. Shortly after the announcement, Topuria received heartfelt support from a former rival, Max Holloway, whom he fought in 2024. Holloway responded publicly, offering empathy and words of encouragement. He wrote, "Sorry to hear, champ. If it's what I'm hearing it is, I know the struggle firsthand, trying to fight while protecting your kids. Hope all goes well." Topuria replied with gratitude and respect, saying, "Thanks for the support, brother. All the best for you and your family." The exchange between the two fighters resonated strongly strongly with fans, showing a rare moment of unity and compassion in a sport fueled by intensity and rivalry. As Topuria steps away temporarily to focus on what matters most, the MMA world waits for his eventual return, hopeful, supportive, and eager to see him back when the time is right. Move on to another news. Dana White has officially announced a massive slate of fights for UFC 324 and UFC 325, giving fans one of the biggest Thanksgiving updates in recent years. The UFC 324 main event has finally been confirmed, bringing new excitement to the organization's first numbered event of the Paramount era. White revealed that Justin Gaethje will face Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight championship, with the winner expected to meet Ilia Topuria later in 2026 for a unification bout once Topuria returns. White explained that Topuria recently posted about going through personal issues and confirmed he will not be fighting in the first quarter of next year. Because of that, the lightweight division needed to move forward. The winner of Gaethje vs. Pimblett will claim the interim title and then square off with Topuria once he's ready to return. The co-main event is another blockbuster matchup featuring former teammates Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes. The two will collide for Harrison's newly won bantamweight championship in a fight that has already generated major buzz. White described it as a badass fight that fans have been waiting for. In addition to the top two bouts, UFC 324 will also feature several high-profile matchups across multiple divisions. Sean O'Malley will take on the number 5 ranked Song Yadong. Waldo Cortez Acosta is set to meet Derek Lewis in a heavyweight showdown. Arnold Allen will face Jean Silva, and Alexa Grasso will take on Rose Namajunas in a highly anticipated bout. White also revealed that Umar Nurmagomedov will meet Davison Figueiredo, a fight added just hours before the announcement. White didn't stop there. He confirmed another major fight for UFC 325, scheduled 1 week later on January 31st. Alexander Volkanovski will defend his title against rising star Diego Lopes in Sydney, Australia. More matchups for that card will be revealed later, but White assured fans that UFC 325 is stacked with additional talent. The announcement delivered a surge of excitement across the MMA community, marking a strong start to the UFC's 2026 calendar, and setting the stage for two action-packed events. White ended the reveal with a smile, checking in with fans. "How's everybody? You good? Happy? Mad?" Move on to another news. Ariel Helwani has strongly criticized the UFC's decision to book Justin Gaethje vs. Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight title at UFC 324, a move that has sparked significant backlash across the MMA community. Speaking on his YouTube MMA show, Helwani said he was stunned that the promotion bypassed the clear number 1 contender, Arman Tsarukyan, in favor of what he called a questionable title matchup. Helwani acknowledged that Gaethje vs. Pimblett is an entertaining fight on its own, but he argued that it should not be for an interim championship. He stressed that the division already has a legitimate contender waiting and a champion who recently fought, making the interim belt feel unnecessary and forced. According to Helwani, the UFC should have booked Tsarukyan to face Ilia Topuria, with the winner going on to meet the victor of Gaethje vs. Pimblett. He explained his frustration, saying that an interim title fight is being held without the actual number 1 contender involved. The number 1 contender at 155 pounds is a guy named Arman Tsarukyan, and he's not in this fight, Helwani said. And of course, the champion Ilia Topuria isn't in this fight either. This is a makeshift fight. This has the same prestige as a BMF title. Helwani added that while he previously said he wanted to see Paddy fight for a belt someday, and that Gaethje might need another win or two, this particular matchup doesn't make sense. Gaethje had even suggested he might retire without a title shot, and now suddenly he's fighting for an interim championship. Helwani didn't hold back, calling the situation bogus and insane, especially considering this bout is headlining over the massive matchup between Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes. He noted that, on paper, Gaethje vs. Pimblett is a solid fight to determine a number 1 contender, but given the circumstances, he believes the rightful path was clear. Tsarukyan should face Topuria later in the year, and Gaethje vs. Pimblett should be a co-main event, 5-round contender fight. Ilia won that belt back in June. "You don't even need an interim title fight," he said. Helwani also expressed concern over Tsarukyan's future, with Dana White confirming that the winner of Gaethje vs. Pimblett will face Ilia next. Helwani questioned what options remain for Tsarukyan. "What happens to Arman? Who does he fight now?" What does he have to do to finally get a title shot? Move on to another news. The MMA community has erupted in frustration following the announcement of Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight title. Fans, analysts, and fighters echoed Arman Tsarukyan's disappointment, criticizing what many see as an unfair and promotional-driven decision by the UFC. Social media quickly filled with reactions. One fan wrote that Dana White had done Arman dirty again, pointing out that Tsarukyan has fought every top contender in the division, proved himself as the clear #1 contender, and yet continues to be overlooked so that Pimblett can receive another boost in hype. The fan added that merit appears to no longer matter, calling the situation hilarious and suggesting that seeing an interim belt around the waist of Gaethje or Pimblett, while a proven contender sits on the sidelines, makes the UFC feel more like the WWE. Another fan criticized the UFC matchmakers directly, saying it felt as if the organization intentionally chose the most provocative matchup possible. According to the commenter, Pimblett has not earned a spot anywhere near a title fight, especially after Tsarukyan firmly established himself as the next rightful challenger. The fan argued that the proper booking should have been Tsarukyan versus Gaethje, giving the division clarity while champion Ilia Topuria deals with personal matters. They even pointed out that fighters like Khamzat Chimaev, who is genuinely dealing with injuries, are being compared unfairly to situations where the community believes Topuria simply needed time away. They added that Max Holloway would have been a more deserving option than either Gaethje or Pimblett. Another widely shared tweet called the announcement a disgrace, accusing the UFC of manufacturing an interim belt just to give Gaethje the title fight he wanted or to generate more hype if Pimblett pulls off an upset. The fan questioned how an interim lightweight championship could be created without the division's #1 contender involved, once again comparing the booking to WEU-style storytelling rather than merit-based matchmaking. Across the board, the reaction was the same: confusion, frustration, and disbelief. Many feel that this interim title fight undermines competitive integrity and sidelines the fighter who has worked the hardest to earn the next shot. Move on to another news. Lerone Murphy, who many fans and analysts view as one of the leading contenders for the next featherweight title shot, expressed deep frustration after learning he had once again been passed over. In a candid message posted on social media, Murphy shared that missing the chance to face one of the division's greatest fighters was what disappointed him the most. He emphasized that the decision felt less about true competition and more about marketability, writing that it no longer seems to be about who is the best, but rather who is the most popular. Despite the setback, Murphy remained composed, saying that business is never personal and that he would simply dust himself off and continue moving forward. Shortly after, he followed up with another message declaring, "Mark UK against anyone," reaffirming his readiness to face any challenger placed in front of him. Another top featherweight contender, Movsar Evloev, also voiced his thoughts on the situation. Not wanting to wait for the division to sort itself out, Evloev publicly offered a solution: settle the debate inside the Octagon. Reaching out to Murphy directly, he proposed a showdown that would determine the true #1 contender. Evloev wrote that he was willing to give Murphy the opportunity to fight for the top contender spot, and urged him to tell his team that he was ready to face him on the same card as the upcoming championship fight. Their exchanges quickly caught the attention of the MMA community, with fans and analysts applauding both fighters for their professionalism, competitiveness, and willingness to take on anyone in pursuit of championship glory. Many praised Murphy for maintaining humility and honesty during a disappointing moment, while others commended Evloev for stepping up and offering a high-stakes matchup rather than waiting for the UFC to make a decision. The situation has sparked renewed interest in the featherweight division, with fans now eager to see whether the UFC will book Murphy versus Evloev to bring clarity to the title picture and determine who truly deserves the next shot at the belt. Move on to another news. Aljamain Sterling strongly criticized the UFC for its recent matchmaking decisions, expressing deep frustration over the booking of Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. Speaking on X, Sterling emphasized that the organization's choices seemed disconnected from merit. He explained that even if he personally didn't receive the opportunity, either he or Movsar Evloev clearly deserved the title shot. Sterling highlighted that Evloev had already been bypassed once in favor of Lopes, and now Lopes was being given another chance at championship gold. According to Sterling, situations like these make it obvious why many fighters begin to lose passion for the sport they once loved. While he acknowledged Lopes' talent and said fair play to him, Sterling questioned the direction of the UFC, claiming that the current landscape has become a cold world for fighters working their way up the rankings. He pointed out that fans hold significant power and urged them to voice their concerns about what he called nonsense matchmaking. He insisted that fighters have no control beyond accepting whoever the UFC puts in front of them, while the organization prioritizes marketability over competitive legitimacy. Sterling directly asked fans whether they prefer merit-based matchups or popularity-driven marquee fights, urging them to speak openly about what they want the sport to represent. In a particularly strong statement, he claimed that the UFC is 110% not what it used to be. Though he expressed loyalty to the company, he described the repeated pattern of overlooked contenders as beyond frustrating. Sterling said he understands the UFC's business perspective but called for honesty, arguing that they should stop promoting the idea that they always give fans the fights they want to see or that they consistently match the best against the best. He concluded by noting that this issue has become far more common in recent years, especially within his own weight class, making it increasingly difficult to ignore. According to Sterling, the sport's integrity depends on matchups that reward merit, not just hype.